Presentation by the Chamber of Commerce regarding proposed CBD holiday decorations.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here tonight. I want to first thank the council for their approval of the movie shoot, the film shoot on Monday morning, and the subsequent smoothness and how it ran thanks to the Rye PD. So thank you very much for that. It was nothing that was disturbing to the business community, and they were very, very thankful for that. So we appreciate that.
I think maybe it drove a little business too.
I'm sorry?
I think it maybe drove a little business too. I have stalker friends that were there.
There were some stalkers around. Very, very true. However, I appreciate that. But now to tonight, I know that this has been on the agenda for a couple of days, and we're here tonight to talk about the holiday lights in downtown Rye along the business district. For anyone who is aware, the lights that we currently have in place right now are about 20 years old, if not maybe a little older than that. They have been well maintained as possible by DPW and installed on an annual basis, so we thank the city for that. However, they are at a state now where they are really not good looking and in quite disrepair, so the Chamber has taken it upon ourselves to start a project to replace these lights. So tonight we are here, myself and Dan Castarella, who is the owner of American Christmas. The Chamber has settled on working with his company in regards to the design that we'd like to approach the city to have approved. So I will have him talk to a bit of the design first, and then I'll include some other comments as well.
Thanks for having me. Just to start, for whoever doesn't know, American Christmas, we're a Mount Vernon-based company. We've been in business for over 50 years, and our focus is basically our name, Christmas. We do work around the country. We have clients around the world, but the bulk of what happens in our business is really in the New York tri-state area. And as over the past few years, we've really been growing around the country, but also growing with a lot of cities and towns in the Northeast. So for me, I'm from Harrison. I'm local. I'm in Rye 3 days a week. For me, it's exciting to be a part of this. And if you look at what we've done, can I go through? The idea here is to create celebration for Rye. We want to celebrate the end of the year, the heritage of Rye, and really looking forward to evolve what's been done in the past. What we have is pole mount decorations up on the screen right now, and the idea is using what we call our NeoFlex line of pole mount decorations, also mixed in with greenery. And the focus here is really highlighting the downtown area where it's been done in the past. We looked and worked with the DPW to see what has been done in the past, and the reality is you have very nice coverage across the town. So you currently have a nice layout of where everything went, and we're going to keep that layout but look to evolve the decorations. This is just showing a rendering of what Rye could look like if we were to update the design. The pole mount decoration at the top in the warm white color tone is about 7 feet long. And then what we have is 10-inch garland framing the pole coming down.
Is that the same color light? In the picture, it looks like a cooler light on the garland and a warmer light up top.
It is the same color light. It's more, though, the light on the garland has a green background.
So that's why it's looking a little bit more.
That's why it looks that way, but they're both in the warm tone. Also, the light on the display piece is a rope light, which means you get light all around, 360 view, whereas the light on the garland is what we call spotlight, which is a little bulb.
Yeah.
So the way that throws also changes the temperature a little bit, especially in pictures. Just showing another area of the town with what this could look like. And then you have 13 of these lamp poles in town. And the idea here is let's just focus on the greenery and we'll just have it wrap each of those poles. Okay. So for us, it's really about updating the environment you have, updating the product you had, and really looking at some sustainability materials. From even the LED perspective, the lights you're working with are 20 or not older years. So you'll have 4 times more light and pull about 6 times less energy with the new design.
How do you secure those garlands just to make sure that
Good question.
it doesn't get
Every
pulled off or get blown off? Or
Everything will come pre-wired with tails, so it gets wrapped in multiple areas around the pole, but we're local. So the idea is we would set up one of each pole with the DPW. We would train them. We would have them down to Mount Vernon to see how it was manufactured. So we won't just sell the product. We'll come in, and the reality is we'll come in the summer, do a mock install, make sure everything works. And then right before the installation starts, we'll have the DPW down to Mount Vernon, where we're finishing up production. We'll show them how to box everything up, because you're going to get boxes and packaging for the next future years. And then the first day of install, I'll have someone on site to just, again, help them through the process and answer any questions they have.
Was your question about the durability of the ties to the pole?
yeah, I mean, obviously if it's windy or whatever, but also if
People.
somebody decided to maybe tinker with it or something like that. Not that any of our residents would ever think of doing something like that, but you never know.
It could happen, and it's just about tying it back. But
Yeah.
that with this design, that is a reality.
So I have a question.
Yes.
We had a rough patch last Christmas with concerns about religious references tied on poles, or not perhaps religious per se, but religious political, and whether our Christmas decorations effectively conveyed a religious message as well as a secular one. And I believe a part of this project, Brian, was to try to come up with something that was very much secular Christmas. So I got a call this afternoon from someone who had taken a look and said, well, stars, we've got stars, and are they Star of Bethlehem? Are they the star on top of a Christmas tree? Are they Christian iconography where stars are representative of angels? I don't know quite how to frame this, but I'm not sure with that question asked that with this design as beautiful as it is, that we're achieving that part of our mission.
Yes, and to that effect, as you know, the Chamber of Commerce is made up of a diverse board of different religious backgrounds, and every person did consider this design, and we all did vote in favor of this design. We do not believe that in any way this ever intended to be anything besides secular. It was more designed to represent holiday and celebration, as opposed to a specific holiday or a specific religion or political ideology. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't just something just simply winter and a duplication of the standard snowflakes you see in every town, especially some of the ones nearby. We wanted to make sure the design for Rye stood out for Rye. Specifically, the initial designs, there were some different color variations in there, which were removed for the exact concerns that you have at the moment, but we don't feel in any way this represents anything beyond a simple secular design for holidays. And we are here to obviously ask for the City Council's approval on the design for it, but if there are concerns that are that large, the last thing the Chamber of Commerce wants to do is create a rift inside the City Council. I think you guys have enough on your plate with some of the things that have been going on recently, and also in light of some of the recent events that have taken place around the nation regarding some turmoil in the Middle East. We want to make sure that we're not, if it has to be changed because people believe that strongly, that this represents that, then we'll definitely consider that, but we don't believe that it does whatsoever.
I appreciate the intent. I individually don't know what the right answer is. My suggestion would be subject to my colleagues' consideration, provisionally approve it, but ask the chamber in the next short period of time to walk it by a couple of synagogues, walk it by, if it's possible, a Muslim religious institution, get some other input on it, and come back to the council, and if the input that you get is all clear, great. And if not, then, I mean, maybe there's a reason why other towns have gone with snowflakes, as unoriginal as it is.
Josh, thank you for raising this. I had a gut reaction when I looked at it. And I think it's gorgeous. When I first looked at it, I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Congratulations. I mean, it's a gorgeous design. But knowing our community and knowing how these things come up, I like to err on complete caution. And so maybe that is a good suggestion, just to sort of provisionally, I kind of like that idea, Mayor, provisionally taking it back and just, I know it's frustrating. I know it's like, you want to get this done. But I've had enough people say things to me over the years that when I saw it, I thought, okay, we need to take a deep breath. We need to take that moment. And I really appreciate you raising it, Mayor.
Thank you.
I do also, and if I could add on to that, we're happy to do that, and that's something that is easily doable. If anybody in the council has a particular organization that we should reach out to, please let us know. I may not be aware of every single organization in town that is to be considered, so please do let us know if you have something in particular you think we should reach out to besides what I think most people would consider the common organizations in town. We just may not be aware of them, but we'll be happy to do that.
So what is the time, once the order is placed, about how long until we can take possession?
It fluctuates based on the time of year and our production schedule. It's usually anywhere from 90 to 120 days. We make everything locally. Part of the frames will be made in North Carolina. All of the assembly will happen here in Mount Vernon, New York. So if you ordered in end of May, early June, you'd have it essentially September, October.
Okay.
We have a little bit of time to check and just reassure.
We do to a degree. The only issue is that we do understand that there is a pricing increase in place for 2024 starting June 1st. Okay. So we are hoping to have a preliminary order in by that date to attain pricing.
I understand that. Just two questions. If the feedback from the community was that they wanted to change the frames, is that what you call them?
Yep.
To say snowflakes, would that be simple to do? Just swap out the stars for the snowflakes, or would a completely different design be necessary?
It would be simple to change it out with something. I just have to get CAD open and see if the angles on a snowflake would make sense with the space we have.
Got it.
But it could be changed for something extremely easily.
Or just more flourish, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
We have a team of 15 designers who, so it's not a problem.
And then the other,
Use letters. It could be RYE.
that's true.
It could be.
Anyway.
The other question is, and I know that you're sort of focused on the holiday, that's your business, but have you ever used these types of designs at other times of the year for other celebrations, just to sort of provide context? Because if you have, then that sort of takes away the religious undertones to it. But
yeah, typically this star that you're seeing on there is used in a lot of our 4th of July summer displays.
It does look like a 4th of July flourish.
So we do big red, white, and blue stars, and we stagger them in the essentially same concept, hanging off of a pole. That's the star we use. We do actually have a Star of David design that we've used for some towns as well. But this is, in our humble opinion, this is the most generic based on the 2,000 jobs we've sold over the past 3 years.
Well, that's very helpful to have that information, just so that the public and the relevant organizations or institutions understand that this isn't specifically for the winter holiday season, shall we say, but is used in other celebrations?
No, these can go up over the summer. There's nothing that screams holiday or Christmas or Hanukkah or anything about this. This is our celebration line.
Great, thank you.
So
Brian, there's the next meeting is on May 15th, and then after that we go to once a month. So it'll be, into June before the next meeting after that. So I'm not sure,
I am suggesting provisional approval tonight, subject to Ryan coming back to us and saying, I've got to do a different design because I've gotten some negative feedback, or come back to us and say, the feedback's fine, I've spoken to X institutions, and we're good.
I can definitely report back before the 15th.
great.
I'm comfortable with your approach. I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
consideration tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone else have a fantastic night. Thank you.
Beautiful stuff.
Okay, so